brilliant dawn covered the snow-capped peaks of the Rocky Mountains, the pale yellow light mixed with the thin morning mist. The asphalt road wound around the mountainside, with dark green pine forests on both sides, quiet without any other vehicles. Daniel Carter drove the old pickup truck on the way to the lumberyard, opening the window slightly to enjoy the cool mountain breeze. At a bend, he caught a glimpse of a dark object pressed against the edge of the road, blending into the shade of the pine forest. At first, he thought it was just a broken tree branch after a night of strong winds, not paying much attention, continuing to slow down the car. As the car got closer, the object twitched slightly, causing him to suddenly brake, his heart pounding with a strange premonition. Having a premonition that something bad was about to happen, Daniel turned on the hazard lights and pulled the car over to the side of the road, taking a deep breath. Getting out of the car, the cold mountain morning air hit his face but could not suppress the anxiety that was rising. Bending low, he realized it was a large bird, its dark feathers were dirty, its breathing was rapid and labored. Its wide wings were drooping, its claws were lightly scratching the asphalt, it looked so weak that it made him feel sorry. Looking up to observe more closely, Daniel was stunned when he realized it was an eagle that he had only seen in the sky. On its neck was a dark red tumor, each slight movement made it let out a soft groan of pain. Daniel took a step back, trying to stay calm in front of the wild creature that was known to be strong and wary of humans. But its cloudy eyes and ragged breathing clearly showed that it was exhausted, no longer able to resist. He looked around, the mountain road was quiet, only the wind blowing through the pine trees, no other danger in sight. For a moment he thought of calling the rangers, but looking at its exhausted state, he knew he could not wait any longer. Daniel spoke softly in a warm voice, hoping to convey some peace of mind to this creature that was suffering from pain. He slowly approached, knelt down beside it, and observed more clearly the dark red, bulging abscess on its neck. A decisive decision flashed through his mind. He stood up, quickly returned to the car and opened the trunk. He took out a thick woolen scarf and a pair of old gloves, and turned back with a determined look in his eyes. Cleverly wrapping the scarf around the eagle's legs to keep both of them safe, he gently lifted it off the road. Carefully placing it on the back seat, Daniel started the car and sped off towards Maple Ridge Veterinary at the foot of the Rocky Mountains. The glass door of the Maple Ridge Clinic swung open, and the jingling bell rang, signaling the arrival of a special case. Veterinarian Emily Ross and her partner Mark Liu immediately assisted Daniel in taking the bird to the emergency room. After listening to Daniel's brief account of the incident, they quickly checked its reflexes, breathing, and heart rate. An on-site ultrasound showed a large abscess compressing the tissue in its neck, causing pain and difficulty swallowing for several days. Emily sternly said that immediate surgical drainage was needed to prevent the infection from spreading and causing systemic exhaustion. Daniel signed the consent form for surgery, his palms sweating with worry and hope that his life could be saved. The eagle was lightly anesthetized, and 4 catheter was placed, and it was carefully secured to avoid sudden movements that could cause further damage. The cold white surgical light fell on its dark feathers still covered in road dust, reflecting on the shiny steel operating table. Mark made a neat incision along the abscess, and a stream of yellow pus flowed out, smelling fishy and strongly smelling of antiseptic. The 2 doctors patiently dredged out all the pus, and at the same time sent samples for testing to determine the type of bacteria causing the abscess. They cleaned the wound several times with warm solution, controlled the bleeding and placed a thin drainage tube to drain the remaining fluid. Emily meticulously sewed each stitch, preserving as much healthy tissue as possible around it, trying to reduce the pain for this poor creature. Painkillers, antibiotics, and vitamins were given intravenously through the line, helping it stabilize and regain strength. The surgery ended after nearly an hour, its vital signs gradually stabilized, and its breathing became more even. Daniel stood outside the large glass, breathing a sigh of relief when he heard Emily softly say, "The surgery was successful, the condition is now safe." The eagle was transferred to a heated incubator, its large body now lying still, its wings slightly contracting with each breath. About 2 hours later, it opened its eyes, its beak moving weakly, its gaze still hazy but life had returned. The next morning, the bird was able to stand up unsteadily for a few seconds and then gently leaned against the cage to regain strength. The bowl of water was brought closer, it dipped its beak and drank small sips, its neck movement no longer aching as much as before. Emily carefully checked the incision, confirmed it was dry, and advised to continue antibiotics and monitor the temperature. For the first time after surgery, it let out a hoarse cry, but it was enough to make everyone smile with relief. Daniel returned to the clinic, bringing some fresh fish that the doctor allowed to replenish its strength. The eagle ate cautiously, but its eyes were brighter, as if it had regained some of its wild instincts. On the second day, it practiced flapping its wings in the cage, its wings trembling but gradually regaining their familiar rhythm. Daniel helped clean the cage, changed the clean bedding, and placed a sturdy wooden branch for it to cling to practice recovery. On the third day, the drainage stopped, the incision closed, and signs of infection were completely gone. Mark suggested moving it to a quieter space for a faster recovery, avoiding the stress of the clinic environment. Daniel volunteered to take it home to care for it, committed to following all instructions and regular follow-up appointments. Emily agreed, preparing prescriptions, sterile bandages and a daily health record for him. Returning to the wooden house on the forest slope, Daniel arranged a large cage next to the window overlooking the valley and the distant mountain peaks. He spread out a clean, dry lining, placed a high wooden platform for it to perch and stretch its wings whenever it wanted. At first, the eagle kept a vigilant look, its head tilted slightly to observe his every move. Gradually, it stood still when he gently touched its wings, no longer rushing back like when it was first rescued. In the evening, Daniel often sat reading books next to the cage, his deep voice when talking made it calm and gradually get used to it. A week later, the neck feathers grew back, smooth around the edges of the stitches, its gaze was bolder than before. It flapped its wings vigorously, creating a sound of wind rushing through the window, signaling that its strength was gradually returning. Daniel carefully recorded its weight, food intake, and wound condition, sending pictures to Emily to monitor remotely. By the end of the third week, the stitches fell off on their own, the surgical wound was flat and healed, its neck moved naturally, and there was no sign of pain. At the next checkup, Emily happily confirmed that it was ready to practice its bird of prey's flight instincts again. Returning, Daniel took it out to the lawn behind the house, where the valley breeze blew gently, so it could practice flapping its wings and jumping low. One morning in early May, seeing that its wings were strong and its posture was confident, Daniel decided to give it back its freedom. Daniel placed the cage neatly on the back of the pickup truck and drove back to the mountain road where they first met. The bright sunlight stretched across the valley, the snow-white mountain peaks reflecting the golden color of the early morning. The mountain wind carried the scent of pine resin, the murmur of the distant stream was like a song welcoming the new day. Daniel opened the cage door, took a few steps back, leaving the decision to the rescued creature. The eagle slowly stepped out, standing firmly on the sidewalk, its sparkling eyes illuminating the vast blue sky. It turned its head to look at Daniel for a long time, its deep gaze like a thank you that needed no words. Its wings spread wide, its body broke free from the ground in a decisive flap, gently swirling the wind on the road. It circled a large circle over the pine trees, then soared high, gradually fading into the sky above the majestic mountains. Its shadow gradually became smaller, only a black dot flying across the bright blue sky above the distant hilltop. Daniel stood still, the corner of his lips curled into a peaceful smile, knowing that his compassion had just brought a creature back to nature.